Hello everybody, so this is TRX and this is the attachment of the TRX. So first, before you set the TRX, you're going to put the attachment in there. So I'm just going to do that now. So you can actually use it on the door or anywhere that you're comfortable to use it. Then I'm going to take this up, put it inside the lock here. So once you have got this one up here, I'm going to attach this into this. Now it's kind of a locked one, okay? Now you have, based on the movement patterns that you have, in short movement, which means that you're doing any kind of pulling movement, we keep the TRX as idly short. Any kind of pushing movements, like you're doing a chest press or anything of pushing movement where the elbows are getting straight, you will keep them into a long distance, which is ideally below the mid-calf length here. And if in case you're lying down on the floor and performing any movements, you may keep it up to about, say, mid-calf length, which means that when you're standing here straight up, you should see that the grip is actually resting somewhere at the mid-calf length. That's pretty much of a setup. This is called as the anchor point. So most of the time when you're performing and looking at the TRX, you should always look at the TRX at the anchor point in order to keep the cervical neutral, okay? Anytime, any given time when you're stepping on the TRX to do any kind of movement, you do want to make sure that this is pretty much locked in. This is locked in, okay? If this is not locked in, when you're pulling it, you may fall down and you may get a little bit of kind of an injury kind of stuff. So you want to avoid that. Make sure that once you set the whole TRX, you really pull that and make sure that this is kind of a nicely set up. And then you go into the movement pattern here. Then you pull up and anything. So most important thing is about the way the length is being set of the TRX. Secondly, it's about the lock has to be really well set. And lastly, about the anchor point. That has to be really firmly set out there. So these are the few things that you need to keep in mind before you stepping on to using the TRX as one of the top performing equipment. Great equipment when it comes to working on your strength, mobility, as well as athletical based movement patterns. But you want to make sure that everything is attached, everything is firm. Cross check once or twice, and then you're good to go.